Welcome to Open Your Eyes.
Start your morning right.
I'm April Martinez.
And I am Isani Cayetano.
And thank you so much for joining us, Belize. Good morning. It is the day after the municipal elections of 2024.
The morning after.
The morning after.
Is Thursday, March 7th.
Thursday.
And of course, we're off to another bright start, notwithstanding the day that was.
Hey, you know, honestly, this was the first time I covered elections, Isani, and I have to say, kudos to y'all. Like, no, I'm not just saying it because we're colleagues. I'm really saying it because I don't think that from somebody that usually sits on her couch and watches the coverage that we really get the full understanding of the amount of work that it takes to cover an election countrywide.
Well, there's a certain experience that comes from covering any election for that matter, both from the perspective of the media that's providing the coverage, and certainly from the perspective of the voters and the politicians.
Yeah, indeed.
Right? And so from our end, it's been a long 24 hours. And if you ask some of my colleagues,
it's been long before that.
it's well before that, quite honestly. But if you ask some of my colleagues, they are still awaiting the outcome of some of the counts from across the various municipalities. So in essence, their work isn't really
done,
completed as such, right? And so we continue. But I'm happy we're here this morning, April. There's a lot for us to be able to discuss throughout the course of the show. And of course, for some reason, and I'll start off by saying this, there's a certain euphoria, right? We missed it last night simply because the decentralization of the counting stations sort of killed that buzz.
Yeah, you had
that traditional hype where everyone congregates at one location, and win, lose, or draw, there's a certain energy.
Yeah.
Last night was ghost town for all intents and purposes.
Because you were on the ground and you were the one, basically, well, you were covering parts of Belize City because yourself and Brittany, you split yourself in half. What was the feeling like of having all of these different counting stations? I mean, I know you said it was ghost town, but like, were people knowingly going to one particular area? Did they know that this was where it was going to be drafted?
Well, I think because it was scattered, I'll use that description, where you have polling stations being counting stations. Now, if I look at what has happened historically, even if we go back to the past 10 or so years, right? You had places such as the IT vet, you had places such as the Charles Bartlett, and other locations that would have been designated as one singular counting station. So because of that, you have stalwarts of the various parties, you have the hopefuls, right? You have the leadership of the respective parties as well. And so that energy in and of itself, you hear people cheering, you hear people cursing.
With disappointment.
Yes. So it's a certain energy. But because we've moved away from that, at least for the purpose of yesterday's elections, everyone was in a certain pocket, so to speak. And that unified energy, if I could use that, wasn't there. I
was going to ask because, like I said, you were on the ground and we were kind of here kind of talking to you and the other correspondents. But one of our hosts, Demi Williams, said, this election just seemed very underwhelming from our standpoint. Is that the feeling? Is that what you got when you were on the ground?
I use certain language to describe essentially what I've seen on the ground and what I've come to know about certain elections, right? So if we're looking at the 3 elections that take place in this country, village council elections has its own energy, its own coverage, and its own vibrancy.
Right.
Right? Same for municipals, same for generals.
Okay.
General elections are what we describe as the big dance. That's when everybody comes out and,
full force.
everything.
Yeah.
Yesterday, it being a municipal cycle, it was expected that low voter turnout.
Okay.
It wasn't a public and bank holiday either, right? Where persons had to get time off from work, go to the polls, cast their ballot, and return to work. Then you look at what I just explained earlier, where everything was decentralized. So it's not like at the end of the work day, you can meet up with your friends and go to IT Vet, if I could use that example, and say, okay, we'll wait it out and see what gives.
Yeah.
It wasn't that.
Yeah.
So if you're looking at it from that perspective, then perhaps, yes, it may have been underwhelming.
Okay.
But if you're looking at it from the point of view that, okay, certain elements are par for the course. Certain elements, such as low voter turnout, we've come to expect that from municipals.
Yeah.
So it's not like you're going to say, you know what, I expect more voters to come out at a certain time of day or overall or whatever. Certain things become a sort of expectation that this is how it goes. Right? Now, if you look at what will happen next year or when the next general elections are called, that will be an altogether different energy, right? Everybody and their dog is going to come out, so to speak.
Yeah, yeah. But I have to say that the energy here, the energy out there, it kind of it felt like people were coming out to vote, not necessarily understanding or knowing perhaps the slate, or I'm not sure about Belize City, other parts of other municipalities. It just felt like we weren't sure of who to vote for, or we weren't sure. You had the analysts here that had their predictions and so forth. Personally,
that's just
for
what
my
it
own
is,
municipality,
right?
I didn't.
That's just what it is, and I give kudos to all the pundits, all the analysts, all those who would have taken to social media to forecast an outcome. At the end of the day, it's the actual voters who determine who goes to City Hall or who goes to Town Hall, right? And so, with that being said, I want to do two things this morning.
Sure.
First of all, I want to congratulate all those who have secured a space in either the City Hall or the Town Hall in your respective municipality. Congratulations.
Indeed.
Secondly, I want to, tell the aspirants who are unsuccessful that this should not be the end-all be-all. If you have a dream to serve the people of Belize, maybe this is one stumbling block, but if you are persistent and if you know that that's what you want to do as a part of your journey, then by all means, dust yourself off and try again.
Yeah.
Now, with that being said as well, right, this is sort of a refresh or a recharge. And so new mandates are going across all 9 municipalities. And for too long, we've seen politicians make certain promises and are unable to deliver on those promises, or they wait until the last appointed minute before the next cycle to attempt to deliver on those promises. You have a fresh 3-year start. I think it's time for everyone to get their ducks in a row and start working on behalf of the people of Belize.
Yeah. I do echo your congratulations and your sentiments, Isani. And I will say, I think this is Belmopan that we're seeing on the screen right now. I will say that for most municipalities, and we don't have all of the numbers just yet, as you mentioned, they went full slate blue, right? I know that that is what happened in the north. That is what happened in Belmopan. We haven't gotten all the numbers yet from Belize City. Kayo, Benke went fully blue, Tangriga. We have yet to finalize all of the numbers in San Ignacio Santa Elena, but we do know that the mayor-elect is officially Earl Trump. And in PG, well, PG was one of those places that none of us could predict really what was going to happen. You had some people that said they were going to go full blue, mixed slate.
There's a certain dynamism about Punta Gorda that one has to appreciate, right? And this was echoed across the coverage yesterday,
Yes.
where based on the last municipal elections, the Belize Progressive Party made significant inroads in that municipality.
Yeah.
And so that is a factor. That's an element that cannot be ignored.
Yeah.
Right? So the voters of Punta saw BPP as, in this case, a viable option as a third party. You also have the United Democratic Party and the People's United Party. And so that made for an altogether different arrangement, so to speak, than in other parts of the country. I can't say Belize City because Belize City had the PDM as a third party option, right?
Yeah.
So if you're looking at the two parties, the mass parties, and you're looking at independents and third parties that are also competing for the available 67 seats, those cities and towns have a different dynamic than one where it's only red or blue.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I think it should speak to a certain level of political maturity on our part as voters, citizens of this country, that perhaps we begin to look at other options, right?
Yeah.
I wouldn't sit here and say go greener or go yellow for the sake of it. But if you're voting based on persons who you believe are fittest for the job, and these individuals come on a certain platform that says, okay, this is what I aspire to achieve once I'm elected, then that should be given some consideration.
Yeah.
That's
I agree. I agree. And yes, I know Belize City had their independent independent candidates and their BPP here as well.
Yeah.
But from last municipal election where they almost, just by a few, well, I shouldn't even say by a few votes, but it was People's United Party followed by BPP and then the UDP.
So significant strides were made, if you want to describe it as such.
And I think that is what made the election in PG more interesting this time around, because we were seeing a full force of BPP. They seemed to have their supporters out. They were very confident as well. And so I think for us here on set, we were like, what's going to happen? We're not sure. They also had their own debates. So I believe that they did issue a couple of times debates between certain candidates. And so the people got to hear from them as well, which was different from other municipalities.
I think what I'm also looking at as a theme or a concept, and I think it has played out over successive municipal governments, is the idea of synchronicity.
Yeah.
So while we've spoken about what should be the autonomy or self-sufficiency of the respective town councils, the councils, the fact that you have a People's United Party central government and you have a majority of the 9 municipalities that they now also control. So you're looking at synchronicity, being able to align all efforts for the development of these respective cities and towns. If you're looking at it from a socio-economic perspective, right? Everything should be in sync now for the residents of Belize City, for instance, or in Joak, whichever of the municipalities that they control, to actually be able to get the services, get the kind of boost or push for economic development to begin taking place or to continue taking place.
I agree with you, but I think, and I do have to echo the sentiments of Audrey Matura last night, where she said that where they put most of their efforts in were the places that, yes, they won, you know, but the battleground, the battlefield, if you will, was in San Ignacio Santa Elena. And I think that as much as, you know, they put out, I think Matthew Preston Silva, he did his best as an opponent, but in the end you still now have a UDP mayor.
So the question is, whatever the final count is by day's end, that determines who are actually occupying those seats other than the mayoral seat. If it's another mixed council, we've seen what has happened in the Twin Towns where mixed councils are concerned, particularly under this central government, if we're to listen to and see everything that the returning mayor has complained about in terms of, you know, being undermined, being vetoed,
lack of resources
being afforded to municipal development where that is concerned. You know, these are serious concerns that if I were a resident of Santa Elena or San Ignacio would wake up this morning and be like, okay, are we going over this all over again? Is it a deja vu?
And that's why I brought it up, because we're talking about alignment. And if you're talking, we had a little bit of a feedback from Orange Walk yesterday, where we had the PM out there greeting both candidates from UDP and PUP, and it seemed there was a level of camaraderie that was happening, right? Where whether win or lose, we're going to work with whosoever comes into office. And I think that is the type of feeling that I'm not sure if that was a hit or a miss in San Ignacio, Santa Elena. So now this time around, this alignment, if you will, has to be strengthened, because it doesn't, I mean, Earl Trupp has been in jail for what, 21 years?
I think one of the most sobering conversations I had yesterday in a live interview that was done with the area representative for Freetown, who's also the Foreign Affairs Minister and the Minister of Education, in respect of the very same Twin Town arrangement, where he was saying, look, we as the government of Belize, where Mayor Trupp is concerned, when he brings to us certain projects, it's not about him. So it's not like I am bad-minding him. It's the fact that he is bringing forth certain projects and initiatives that assist everyone, or those who are most in need of that kind of assistance from, in this case, the Ministry of Education. So he's like, okay, me, for argument's sake, rejecting the scholarship applications doesn't affect him. It affects those children who needed it most. So that too reflects a certain level of maturity where politics is concerned. It's just that, in my opinion, and I go on record solely as an individual perspective on this, right, is that once elections are done, do away with party politics until the next campaign cycle.
You have to.
In the interim, it's about getting the job done, and it shouldn't matter if you're red, blue, gold, green, whatever it is.
That's exactly what we're saying, and that's what we were saying yesterday. You know, at the end of the day, when you go home and you put away that red shirt or that blue shirt, you are a citizen of this municipality, and you expect that the progress affects you, or
you have needs.
You have needs that need to be met,
Yeah.
and it's. This idea, I mean, and we've talked about this way too much, about central government, municipal government, what they have, what they don't have, the alignment that you talk about, if that is real or if it's not real, or if it is or shouldn't be. But at the end of the day, we have another overall winning for most of the municipalities within the PUP.
I wanted to touch on another issue, and one that I observed firsthand yesterday. A lot of money was spent, right? Not necessarily on the campaign. We've seen that. We've seen the ads, we've seen the banners, and all of that. I'm talking about on the day, you have politicians who have their quote-unquote bagmen who are out there and compensating voters for the purple finger, right? I saw that firsthand yesterday, right? And it's a practice that has become sort of ingrained in our political culture, where, for instance, I was in one location in Queen Square yesterday, where I saw a young lady, no more than 25 years old, right? And from the way she was describing her situation to the politicians who are around on either side, she was saying, well, I'm a single mother. My child travels with asthma. And I went to this politician, I got the runaround. But it's because I switched allegiance from this party to the other party. Still did not get the satisfaction that I wanted, and I switched back. But in that conversation, she was also saying, well, Ono me promise me, Ono me fix me house, this, that, and the third. Now, I'll be honest to say, I don't know what that young lady's financial situation or realities are. I don't know. I don't know exactly which part of that constituency she comes from. She's registered there. But the fact that she sat there to a point where she got on my nerves, and I'm not even the politician, where she's asking, how much am I going to get? You're ready for me? Because this finger is virgin. That was her language. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
So if I've been hearing this all along and I'm now seeing it firsthand, it speaks to where we are in terms of, you know, selling our vote, so to speak.
But also,
for that $50 or for whatever small money that comes along with it.
But also selling it, you shouldn't be doing it any at all, right? But so irresponsibly, particularly for any kind of election, right? But for a municipal election where there's only so much your city hall can do for you, as if once you elect them. The issues that she's talking about, fixing her house, perhaps her child needs a particular access to health care, those are not necessarily within the powers of the municipal body. Well, I understand what she's doing.
I'll argue from a different perspective. Only to say that social development is a key aspect of governance, right? Yes. So you have to be able to, at some point, come down to the level of the person who needs that kind of assistance. It's not necessarily within your scope, right? But it's not outside of your scope either.
It's just interesting to see that is the language that she would use, and then two, to be so blatant about it out there for everybody
on both sides. And that's the thing that caught me, because the only thing that separated both camps was like Fabers Road. So I saw her, right? I saw her make a pitch on one side, only to cross the street and make the same pitch to the other side, even though she's making a bag of noise about being disgruntled for switching sides in the first place, right? But she's blatantly doing it. And you saw examples of this. Well, I saw examples of this across Belize City. Yeah, but that's why. And it's so funny, because when we see any opposition, doesn't matter who is in power, but any opposition go out and say, don't sell your vote, like the $100 note isn't worth it, or the $50 note isn't worth it. But who's to say that she didn't get her way yesterday? Well, the sad thing about it, and perhaps she may have gotten the money, kudos to her if she did, and I hope you use it wisely if that were the case. But I'm simply saying it's part of a larger problem that we're having from a social perspective, where the idea of handout politics, right? Where everyone comes hat in hand asking, okay, what does my vote worth in terms of dollars and cents? Yeah. Right? And if one were to do a basic mathematical calculation and you divide that by the length of the term and how much you'll get or whatever, it's not worth it. But I would think, and speaking for myself again, maybe I'm in a different frequency, class or category or what have you, however you choose to put that. But again, perhaps it's also based on my reality. I'll admit that as well. But I'm simply saying, look, before I ask you for $50 or $100 or $200, there are certain other services that can be provided that are more meaningful, not only for me, but for the residents of the community that I come from, right? So my thing has always been me. I don't care for any of the campaign money. Miss me with that. I'm simply saying, if you fix the street, you put a health center, you put a library, put all of these resources where they belong, then that's for the people, and that's for the next generation that's coming that wants to access these resources. But you see, it's not even about class or anything like that, Isana. It's no, really I'm saying that because some people would probably say, well, my reality and your reality are different. So you could say you don't need the money. Agreed. You could simply say, well, oh, you want a street and drain. I need to feed my picnic. That's two different arguments. That's the reason I'm separating by saying that.
I understand, and that's why I wanted to say that a lot of people don't have sense of community.
Yeah.
That what you are talking about really is what municipal elections are for, what town councils and city hall is for, where we are working for a community. It's not an individual, but people don't see it that way. My struggles are my struggles, and I need you to forgive me this today, whether or not that 150 lasts till the end of the day or till the end of the week. The point is that I need it now. I need to see it now. And what we don't really discuss or talk about enough are the facts that all of the progress that takes place is for the betterment and sense of community. So yes, while we're talking about infrastructure, in theory, you're right. While we're talking about infrastructure, it's for everybody to enjoy. While we're talking about recreation centers, it's for everybody to enjoy.
Parks and playgrounds
and so forth, right? Clean drains. It's for the betterment and health and hygiene of the community. But for either municipal or general elections, we're not thinking about community. And we haven't thought about community for a very long time. I don't know when it was the last time where I heard somebody say, you know what, it's not just for me, it's for everybody.
Handout politics, or the idea of handout politics, has been inculcated in our families for generations now. So it's very difficult for me to say, just as an example, I will break away from this idea because my mother PUP and my granddad am a PUP, or my grandpa am a UDP, and so now I'm third generation UDP, and my area rep is next to God, or these are things that people latch onto and say, okay, you know what, it's part of my family heritage or our legacy that we are staunch this or that, and because of that, everybody comes out and say, okay, well, I guess something.
But and it goes right back to my questions of, okay, if you are UDP or if you are PUP because your grandparents were, why were your grandparents UDP and UDP? What were the principles that this particular party stood for at their time? Because I know it has changed drastically throughout the years, but what are the principles that this particular party stood for in the time of your grandparents? Is it still being done today? Yes or no? And sometimes people can't really answer that question because they don't know, because these particular things have changed throughout the time. When we look at the mandates, they're both giving you the same thing without any kind of difference.
When you cast a ballot, as sacred as that exercise is, should be a very selfish or individualistic thing, right? Where I use those terms simply to say, I can't be worried about what my wife says or what my grandfather says or what have you. I'm not necessarily carrying tradition. All I'm doing is making a decision in the moment that is the most suitable for me in terms of what I would want that individual to be able to do for us. So it's in that context that I'm saying selfish and individualistic. I should be thinking about, what I think that the best approach for this. I shouldn't be thinking, oh, you know what? Either third generation or fourth generation. Nah.
But even my friends so, and we could come back to like things like buying your vote and stuff like that. And I've always had this thing because it's not. I've been approached by politicians. Do the right thing, right?
What is the right thing?
I have no idea. And so, but in the back of my mind, I'm like, okay, I could take this from you right now, but you have no idea if I did the right thing. At the end of the day, you're not seeing my name on a ballot. You're not seeing. So I'm just saying.
Let's not be naive. Let's not be naive. While it should be secret and sacred, people have a way of figuring out how people vote in the round.
You know what? We can sit around and talk about this all day, and I'm sure that you're going to have one coverage tonight for your newscast. It's going to be, we're going to divulge all of that information, of course, the final numbers. We're going to get all of the municipal candidate elects and so forth. But we have to move on with our show for this morning. In my hat yesterday, I feel really sorry for another out there. I was very content being in studio, but we now have the weather for an update from the Belize Meteorological Service. Here is that now.
Good morning, Belize. Fair, warm, and mostly dry weather conditions will prevail. The 24-hour forecast: skies will be mostly sunny today and partly cloudy tonight. Little or no rainfall is expected. The maximum temperatures for today will reach 89 degrees Fahrenheit along the coast, 95 inland, and 83 up in the hills. The low temperatures for tonight will be around 80 degrees Fahrenheit along the coast, 73 inland, and 68 up in the hills. The winds from the open sea will be from the east-southeast at 10 to 15 knots, and sea conditions will be choppy. A high tide will occur this morning at 8:34, a low tide this afternoon at 1:20, another high tide tonight at 7:45, and another low tide early tomorrow morning at 3:02. The sun rose this morning at 6:06 and will set this evening at 6 o'clock. The moon will set this evening at 3:25 and will rise tomorrow morning at 4:50. The outlook for Friday and Friday night is for similar weather conditions to prevail. In the sargassum forecast, sargassum amounts remain relatively low over our area with minimal to moderate impacts. No significant changes is expected during the next week. In the fire risk forecast, the risk for forest or bushfires for today will remain moderate. With that, we end this morning's forecast from the Belize Weather Bureau.
All right, thank you so much, Forecaster, for that update. It's going to be another hot day, so stay as hydrated as you can. We have a jam-packed show for you all this morning. We're going to have our first two segments with the winners of the Belize City Municipality elections. So you don't want to miss that conversation. And in our final conversation, we're going to be talking to the Belize City Defenders basketball team. They have an upcoming game. I think it's going to be the battle of the Belize City teams. So we're going to stay tuned for that conversation as well. But we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with more. Open your eyes. Don't go away.
Hey there, smart thinkers! We're turbocharging your mobile experience with Smart's powered-up postpaid plans. Imagine a world where your data speeds flows faster than ever. Well, guess what? We've cranked up the dial and unleashed the postpaid power of Smart's lightning-fast LTE data on all our postpaid plans. That's right, no speed bumps, more data. It's like having a limitless highway of data speed at your fingertips. Whether you're a lone ranger with an individual plan or a squad rolling with a group plan, everyone gets to surf, stream, and share at enhanced full high-quality speed. Switch to Smart's powered-up postpaid plans today and ride the wave of postpaid power. Visit any Smart showroom or smart-bz.com for details and make your mobile experience smarter and faster. Smart, bringing people together.
I know I can't let this plan. I can't let this plan.
Discover a shopping experience like no other at the V Department Store. They carry a vast array of products at unbeatable prices. Elevate your shopping journey with affordability, diversity, and accessibility at the V. Conveniently located at 1745 Coney Drive in Belize City.
13,835,700 eggs are eaten by tourists each year, fueling our thriving economy. Tourism means business.
I'm David Humes. This is Vanessa Humes. We own Ladyville Cool Spot. Belize Bank save us a lot of time. Working with them, we can keep track exactly what we spend. We recommend Belize Bank 100% because we don't have to go to stand up in line, and we can check on our account right from our house. Working with Belize Bank is the best.
Weapons and ammunition must never ever be together.
Before I take that drink, I need to put the firearm away.
Do you have information about a crime or a fugitive in our community? You can submit a tip anonymously with your smartphone. Using this program in safeguarding our community also protects your identity, keeping you out of the court system, and could earn you a cash reward. Here is how it works. Download the free P3 Tips app from the Apple Store or Android Market. P3 is the provider of our secure anonymous tip collecting software. Open the app and create a PIN, but be sure to remember that number, then select your location. Next, select the type of crime. When submitting a tip, be as specific as possible. If you have a picture, video, or audio that will help officers, you can upload them from your phone. Information leading to an arrest can earn you a cash reward of up to $1,000. Once your tip is submitted, you'll be given a tip ID and password. Check back if your tip leads to an arrest. You'll be told how much you were rewarded and how to anonymously collect your cash.
I show my love for Belize.
I show my love for Belize.
I show my love for Belize.
I show love for Belize.
I show my love for Belize.
I show my love for Belize.
I show my love for Belize by putting trash in its proper place.
By making sure people enjoy it sustainably.
By wearing my patriotic colors.
By flying our flag.
I show my love for my country by staying up to date on current events.
By being a responsible consumer, buying local, and when I can, use a reusable shopping bag.
By celebrating its heroes.
I show love for my country by speaking about issues that I care about.
By volunteering and helping others, not only myself.
I show my love of country by showcasing culture and traditions to people all over the world.
By obeying laws and advocating for better ones.
I show love for my country by voting.
How do you show your love for Belize? Be an active citizen. Vote.
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 Vote. Vote.
And welcome back. As we mentioned earlier, our first two segments are with the new Belize City Council, the victors from yesterday's municipal elections here in the old capital. We have been joined by returning Mayor Bernard Wagner. To his left is returning Councillor Kaya Katus, and to her left is a newcomer, a new face to the Belize City Council as a councillor, and not necessarily as an employee, and the right-hand man of Bernard Wagner, right? Yeah. We have Elude Miller, good morning.
Good morning, good morning.
And of course, to his left, we also have returning councillor, my good friend Edmond Kwan. Good morning, guys.
Good morning, good morning.
Congratulations. You guys went above and beyond in terms of ensuring that you have a place at City Hall. What is the vibe like with you guys this morning? Let's start with you, Mayor. You were the last person I saw last night. You're the first person I've seen.
Yeah, you know how it goes, man. It has been rough yesterday, but we as a team, I have to thank the residents of the city, first of all, on the voter turnout, coming out to support the team. Our team has worked pretty hard in the city. We have been one of the council that have really put in both the work in respect to social, physical infrastructure. We plan to continue along those same veins. And man, it was very exciting to really see the people, and we are so appreciative of their support.
Kaya?
Like I have to echo the sentiments of the mayor. We are grateful and appreciative of the voter turnout of the residents yesterday. I mean, it shows that they are happy with the work that we have been doing at the Belize City Council, in the manner in which we won at the polls yesterday. I mean, it is very gratifying to know that the work that you are putting in, the work that you are doing on a daily basis, I mean, this is the reward at the polls.
As a newcomer, Elu, and not even as a newcomer, because like I said, you've been on the ground for a while. You've been working at City Hall, but for your first election, and I know you've been campaigning very hard. What was it feeling like campaigning, and now that you've actually won your seat?
Well, yesterday was a very exciting day for me. I feel like it was the culmination of all the hard work that we've been doing on the ground over the past couple of months. I must take this opportunity to thank all the party machinery, our party leader, deputy party leader, our party chairman, right down to the campaigners. They really made it a bit smoother for us. They were out there with us again yesterday, right, helping us to meet those people who we didn't get an opportunity to meet in their homes. But yes, overall yesterday was a very exciting day for me. I had a lot of fun. I met a lot of our residents at the various polling stations, so we kind of had to spread ourselves thin. We had about 29 polling stations across the city, right? But it was exciting, and it was a new experience for me, one that I have come to cherish, and one that I'm grateful for the outcome, right? So I must thank our Belize City residents for believing in our vision and for supporting the entire team.
You're in a different capacity now, though. As a councillor-elect, you have a mandate that you're equally responsible for, along with your colleagues around this table and the others who are part of the Belize City Council. From I first met you a couple of years ago, you were working directly with Mayor Wagner, and in a sense I've seen you evolve in your various roles at City Hall, but this seat at the table puts you directly responsible for a portfolio, right?
Yeah.
How prepared are you for that kind of an assignment?
I would say I'm the most prepared I could be. I have worked very closely with all the previous council members, right? I've worked closely with Councillor Kwan, Councillor Gatous, and I have great knowledge as it relates to the mandate of the council, what is expected of the council, and the various portfolios, right? And I feel that working closely with the mayor, of course, the mayor kind of oversees all the portfolios, and so I have had the ability to gain good insight into what it is that we need to do in those respective portfolios. And so I feel that I am in a good position to serve well. I think that it will certainly benefit me that I'm going into it having had the experience of working inside the council at that administrative level, no? And so I'm prepared. I feel that I am I'm capable, and I have the drive to take on the task. So I think I'll be good. Yeah.
And speaking of portfolios, and now that we have Mr. Kwan and Ms. Gatous on the set, I want to talk about, now that you've been re-elected, how do you plan to move forward with your portfolios, or are you getting new ones? How is it going to work now in this particular slate?
Perhaps there's a reassignment.
Perhaps there's a reassignment, but the work not done, we may want to get elected so that we continue the work, right? Correct. Let's hear from you, Mr.
Hi, good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Well, first of all, I want to thank the party, the supporters, all the residents of Belize City that came out and vote. I mean, you really practice the democratic right. Really appreciate it. As my colleagues say, that we're spread thin, very thin. We can't meet all the residents and meet and greet and whatever. But I apologize that because it was a long day yesterday. It was a very, very hectic day. We're trying trying to get as much votes in, no? And I really appreciate it, and thank you to all. Thanks to the party and the city residents.
Mayor Wagner, this serves as sort of a reset, but for you, it's your third bite at the apple, so to speak. what are you prepared for? Aside from your mandate and the fulfillment of that mandate, what are you most looking forward to this third time around?
Well, I'm very, very thankful for the team that has been put together in respect to the expertise that we have now. In the past, we used to have many of the councillors coming in who were really could not appreciate the role of being a councillor, not understand what the role of a councillor is. I believe having 5 people coming back, and then we have 5 new ones coming in, with Elud essentially knowing the roles and how you move motions and get a motion into the caucus is important. So we have less of the not knowing type of environment, but more a knowing type environment, so that we could move things faster for the residents of the city. We have a huge mandate, obviously. Clearly on the numbers that you're seeing that came out, it was a huge mandate, and so the people are saying we want to stay up on track, we want to continue the huge development all across the city. We want to see economic development, we want to see physical development. We can't forget our social mandate as well, but also working in tandem with the national government will pay huge dividends for us as we continue. Those streets that you see right now are in the pipeline, those can't stop. We are committed to ensuring the continued development of the city, reaching a point where if you are able to achieve your manifesto in terms of 100+ streets we were able to do in 1 year. In our manifesto we are stating we want to do 200 more streets. So we want to reach the point where most of the streets in the city are decent, and people are able to traverse. The kids are not walking in water when going to schools. There's smooth flow of traffic. We have to understand the impact of climate change that is upon us, but embrace the opportunities that comes with it. And so I am really optimistic about these 3 years and the huge opportunity for the city to really take on a surge of development.
I have another question that I want to put to Kaya and to Edmond, seeing as though they're both returning councillors. How do you remain grounded in a situation where if I, as an outsider, were looking at what was happening in the previous council, where you have all of these personalities, and when things don't go well or in their favor, they go to social media or they create a stink, and then we end up as reporters looking back and says, hey, this is what's happening at City Hall. Not all of you took that route. Some of you kept your heads down and kept working. How do you remain grounded in an environment like that?
Well, for me, Sani, I believe that when you go to the residents and you ask them for their support to conduct the business of local government, when you get the opportunity to actually sit at the table, that is what you have to do, conduct the business of local government. Getting caught up in the personalities and all the things that were happening, for me, was, I definitely didn't want to be a part of it. It's not to say that, yes, we had our differences at the table, but I think that even with that, as a council, we still came together and we still did the job of the council.
Yourself, Edmond?
Well, I believe that when that is what makes us better. When we have different minds together, different ideas, and we brainstorm. But at the end of the day, we look at our manifesto and we say, you know what, we need to fulfill this. So which way is the best way to fulfill our manifesto, our promises to the people, no?
I wanted to take a different road because I was looking at this slate there and I couldn't help but wonder why we only have 2 women on the slate. I'm sorry, I have to take that road, right? Because I'm looking at, and I mean, Kaya has been on the show many times to talk about women empowerment. And we've seen it time and time again where we don't have as many women that run for politics. And as a person that is still in the rink, Kaya, how do we continue to build this momentum for our women in politics? You're still here. You have Stephanie now that's on your slate, but now you are in a field surrounded by men once again. how are we building this momentum for girls in politics?
So, in order to get on the ballot, we had to first go through a convention, and we had a number of women contesting that convention. For whatever reasons, only Ms. Stefan and myself were successful. I think in the previous council we had 4 women at the table, and now we're down to 2. However, I think the work that Stefan and I have been able to put in has been significant enough to, at this point, make up the women at the council. And I think that together we will ensure that women are heard and we have a rightful voice at the table.
Yeah, if I could add a comment on that, it is a bit unfortunate, as Kaya said, that we only have 2 females on our slate now, but if you look at the national level now, I think we had 22 females going on PUP ballots yesterday, right, to the polls, out of 67 representatives, and so that is just over 33%. So I think it's a good look for us. The party constitution, I think, calls for 30% female representative, and so while I believe it didn't meet that threshold, contributed for us. So it's a work in progress, and we will continue working towards it.
I quickly want to say too, we continue to be a council where action, women, and participation. Look at our the Youth Shadow Council. We have had many collaboration with international organization in really promoting women in politics. I've been a bit disappointed actually in not having the number of women on our slate. That is my view, obviously. I think during my 6 years I had always wanted to champion that a woman be our deputy mayor. And so I will be the first one to toot my horn. I want a woman to be my deputy mayor this time around. So I'm taking it out already.
We the call things early?
Ability to vote. But I really support a woman. We need a woman to be somewhere along that line, and I'm championing it. I don't know what the results may be, but
so that's the thing with the democratic process.
Yeah, because then I wanted to kind of piggyback on that, asking you how did it feel to be campaigning with an opponent that was probably going to be the next female mayor of Belize City?
No, I always tell people running against a woman is always tough, right? Because I hold women in such high regard, and I try to run a clean campaign. I've never tried to speak ill of the female opponent. I believe she represented her party. The people have spoken. The people said, I want to stay on track with Mayor Wagner and his team. But the fact of the matter is, really running against a female opponent is always tough, right? Because I always champion women. I was really down when we came from 4 candidates from the last group to 2. And so we continue to work towards it. We don't want it to be a situation of token women leadership, but rather of added value women leadership. It is important that we just don't say, oh, I have 6 women on my slate, but it's when it comes to the table for the decision making, they are not part of the decision making. It has to be added value. What do they bring to the table, and the value they bring?
I'm going to stick a pin in that because we do have to take a quick break. So we're going to take a quick break and we'll talk more with our newly elected city council. Don't go away. All right. So, sorry, Sonia. Continue the conversation.
I show my love for Belize.
I show my love for Belize.
I show my love for Belize.
I show love for Belize.
I show my love for Belize.
I show my love for Belize.
I show my love for Belize by putting trash in its proper place.
By making sure people enjoy it sustainably.
By wearing my patriotic colors.
By flying our flag.
I show my love for my country by staying up to date on current events.
By being a responsible consumer, buying local, and when I can, use a reusable shopping bag.
By celebrating its heroes.
I show love for my country by speaking about issues that I care about.
By volunteering and helping others, not only myself.
I show my love of country by showcasing culture and traditions to people all over the world.
By obeying laws and advocating for better ones.
I show love for my country by voting.
How do you show your love for Belize? Be an active citizen. Vote.
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 Technology is ubiquitous, and it's transforming how, when, and where we work. Full-Tech Systems is placing award-winning devices in the hands of information workers, allowing them to work without compromise in a world without wires, to innovate, create, and to maximize productivity anytime, anywhere, satisfying the needs of the desk-centric remote and field worker and every other worker in between. We are providing the industry's best devices to businesses going through the process of digital transformation. Partner with us today to provide the solutions that will allow your employees to work effectively and efficiently to enhance your customers' experience. Full-Tech Systems, your technology center, where you'll come for the price but stay for the service.
Fighting for position. Two teams fighting for a city. Only one can prevent.
Defenders don't frighten of nobody.
Belize City, your high-octane, sharp-shooting, high-flying Belize City Defenders returns home, boasting a 4-0 record and are hopes and eager to serve up a loss to their intercity rivals, the Venice Hurricanes. Muy Uno Resort and Old Capital Sports get set to bring the biggest Friday Night Lights episode of this 2024 BEPL season. And it goes down this Friday, March 8th, inside the Belize City Civic Center. Fans, look out for major giveaways like resort stays, courtesy Muy Uno, and our big halftime 1, 2, 3 cooking oil challenge. For not one, not two, not three, but $4,000 in cold hard cash. Don't miss it. Sponsors.
Hi, my name is Lincoln Fowers and I work at UMall. 100% I will recommend Belize Bank mobile banking to everyone because it saves time, money and gas price because gas price is high right now. Belize Bank mobile banking just make life easier.
Shop smart for your Samsung devices in Belize and enjoy benefits you won't get anywhere else. When you shop locally for your Samsung, all your devices will be covered by a 1-year local warranty. You won't get that when shopping with the other guys. When in doubt, always look for the Cellular World seal to know you're getting the real deal. Shop with confidence and enjoy your Galaxy knowing that it can be repaired locally at our Samsung Service Center by certified Samsung technicians using original parts and machinery. Even better, enjoy the best LTE experience in Belize knowing that your Samsung devices are compatible with major local carrier networks. Get the ultimate Samsung Galaxy experience only when you shop from authorized Samsung resellers nationwide.
Do you have information about a crime or a fugitive in our community? You can submit a tip anonymously with your smartphone. Using this program in safeguarding our community also protects your identity, keeping you out of the court system, and could earn you a cash reward. Here is how it works. Download the free P3 Tips app from the Apple Store or Android Market. P3 is the provider of our secure anonymous tip collecting software. Open the app and create a PIN, but be sure to remember that number, then select your location. Next, select the type of crime. When submitting a tip, be as specific as possible. If you have a picture, video, or audio that will help officers, you can upload them from your phone. Information leading to an arrest can earn you a cash reward of up to $1,000. Once your tip is submitted, you'll be given a tip ID and password. Check back if your tip leads to an arrest. You'll be told how much you were rewarded and how to anonymously collect your cash.
I show my love for Belize.
I show my love for Belize.
I show my love for Belize.
I show love for Belize.
I show my love for Belize.
I show my love for Belize.
I show my love for Belize by putting trash in its proper place.
By making sure people enjoy it sustainably.
By wearing my patriotic colors.
By flying our flag.
I show my love for my country by staying up to date on current events.
By being a responsible consumer, buying local, and when I can, use a reusable shopping bag.
By celebrating its heroes.
I show love for my country by speaking about issues that I care about.
By volunteering and helping others, not only myself.
I show my love of country by showcasing culture and traditions to people all over the world.
By obeying laws and advocating for better ones.
I show love for my country by voting.
How do you show your love for Belize? Be an active citizen. Vote.
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 And welcome back. We are continuing our conversation with the members of the newly elected or re-elected Belize City Council. I've made the introductions of all the persons around the table. I'm not going to go through that again. What I want to do, nonetheless, is to carry on with a line of questioning that I initially began.
Yes.
For you, Mayor Wagner, this, and of course the other 5 returning councillors, it's a continuum, right? Where in your case, it's a 9-year term you would be looking at.
Yeah.
The others perhaps vary, right? Nonetheless, some of the concerns and challenges carry over because it's a continuum. You perhaps from your first term have seen and heard certain concerns being brought forward. You may not have been able to tackle it then, you probably were able to address it in the second term. And some of these concerns are now carrying over into your third term. I'm thinking perhaps that when you set out to say, I am going to create a plan, you weren't thinking of a 9-year plan, right?
Kind of just rolled over a little bit. Yeah.
But so too are some of those challenges and concerns. They roll over.
Yeah.
How do you plan to address that? I don't know if this will be your last hurrah in municipal office, but some of these very same issues are still present and pertinent today.
Yeah, you have to look at evaluations and assessment of performance of the various departments, right? We have over 21 departments, different services all across the city, and so as a mayor, I'm constantly in line with my managers who are the administrative staff, and we look at what we have on the manifesto, and we look at the expertise we have and who is best fit to drive those type of development, to drive those programs, so that at the end of the day we get the outcomes we want. And so it is in that context, right, that I would look at, say, a councillor for sanitation and try to get the best fit. Right, you want that experience, as well you want the continuity, and ensuring that there is synergy between the manager and the councillor. I always tell my councillors that we serve as a board. We serve as a board. Once you are able to understand that you serve as a board, and that you bring your various motions to the caucus and you have them debated, and if they are approved, then the administrator takes it from there to the various departments and have it executed. Now it is your job as a councillor to now follow up challenge those managers through the city administrator on the progress of those projects or whatever. So I am looking forward to ensuring that we have the continuity in respect to our various portfolios, but ensuring that the assessments was done, and if there are need to move things around, we look at it.
What would you say have been some of the overall feedback from the persons that either voted for you or didn't vote for you in that respect, when it came to community issues, not necessarily infrastructure? We've talked a lot about infrastructure, but things like the electric buses, the parking meters, and so forth. Are you going to shift gears in how you handle certain mandates this time around?
It will be a mix, and we have to discuss it at the council level first. But those components are all a part of our wider vision of a smart city. The parking meters, the smart parking facilities, the taxis, the buses, the network in respect to the route. Those are all a part of this ecosystem, so to speak, that we are building, and we are really enthusiastic about that program. But at the other end of the spectrum, we also have areas that we have not done so well in, right? And in our manifesto, it speaks to it that, listen, we have to get back to some of the basics.
Yeah.
And if, as I sit here, I believe that we have kind of not been at optimum in respect to the grass cutting, the shaping of drains, having those drains connect properly with culverts and connecting into the canals, and then the canals into the rivers into the sea. So I have to look at this from a wide view, that the current system that we have has failed us, right? So we have to go back. I need a plan.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at more GIS, using the resources of GIS to really map out the entire city in grids, so that we have designated teams in the different grids, which will have probably a group of grass cutters, patching of street, a drainage team. And so when we look at the grid and someone report in grid 10, that's this team here, there's a pothole, you know who is held accountable.
You could address it immediately.
So the system has to be changed, and that is what I really want to implement in respect to all the basics, because we are not doing good. And I said it in my message to the people, that we have a lot of things left undone that we want to sharp up.
One of my concerns, and this is more so as a resident of this beautiful city of ours, is that there's so much activity taking place at various levels, right? And so while there is a tourism boom this year, while there were elections, while there are all these activities that we plan over the 12-month period, Belize City remains sort of dirty, right? So while, yes, we're making money and we're invested and what have you, we have teams from the Belize City Council, Belize Waste Control, that are doing what they're supposed to be doing. And I'm not taking anything away from that. It just seems as if though we're perennially creating carpets, and we're not mindful of being able to maintain Belize City as a beautiful city. How do we address that? Go ahead, Edmond.
Can I stick up into that?
Sure, man.
It really touches me, right? I never litter. I don't litter. I don't like to litter. Even people litter,
it gets under my
scold
skin.
them. Yeah, it gets under my skin. I think it's our culture. That is the main concern right here we have. The sanitation team can just pass through the street right away. As they left the corner, they start to go back on the street.
So we're talking about behavior change.
Yeah, I think it's just the culture that we need to try to educate, you know, and
civic pride.
Civic pride. That is the main thing. I think we need to find some way to get to to civic pride. Have everybody have a ethical, ethics.
Yeah.
And also, not to litter.
You have an ethical responsibility.
Correct. It's your environment.
Yeah.
Right.
So actually, we are teaming up with Belize Tourism Board on a massive cleanup
river.
Type media blitz. To really get it in, it has to start at the schools.
Yeah.
It has to start at the schools, and then the children, if you are able to change the mindset of our kids, they will take that message in home to the parents, and then you have these other advocates group that you are able to touch with. We have a lot of group, Oceana, our entire group in the city and in the country, but it's not only a city issue, it's on the roads. When you go on the roads, it's a countrywide issue, and we, as leaders of our city, has to take charge in changing the mindsets of do not litter.
I'm someone who cynical about a lot of things. I guess it just comes with my role as a media person. Right? And so I'm very adept at pointing out ironies because of that, right? Yeah. I look at Central American Boulevard, for instance, and all the beautiful greenery that's being planted on the islands, right? But right on either side, all the trash. I'm like, wow. So a lot of effort is being put into planting and grooming the island and the runabout and everything. But somebody rides past or drives past and tosses something out. It's almost as if something beautiful is right up next to something that, defiles it, so to speak.
Is there a mechanism for enforcement then? Because I know that we do have laws that we shouldn't be littering and we shouldn't be doing these things, but I know that for the general public, for the country itself, nobody really talks about enforcing these laws. Is that something that is conducted within your jurisdiction?
Yeah, there is a huge penalty for, I believe it's 2,000 for businesses and 500 individually. We have to enforce the laws on our books. And many times when we go to enforce, then you have the political pushback, but not to say we have to take ownership. The residents of the city have to take ownership of having a clean city, because you can't have a smart city which is a dirty city and environmentally unsound. We can't have that, and so along with BTB we'll begin to make the first steps in respect to the campaign in the schools, the campaign with the advocacy groups, having cleanup campaigns across the entire city. We clean up some abandoned lots, but it's a whole shift that needs to occur in Isani. And we are looking in discussing with local government and national government on how do we do the reform. Because I don't believe that we are able to push the resident if we have a system that doesn't reward cleaning in front of your property, having your house paint properly when you expand. We have a system that when you, as a property owner, do improvement on your property, you are penalized. You are not rewarded. It should be, if you do this around your property, your drain, keep clean, you paint your house frequently, you do expansion, that should be a credit.
You're supposed to get a flying.
You're supposed to get a credit. You're supposed to. The abandoned lots property owners should be taxed highest. And when we go to clean that property, it should be a heavy fee placed on that abandoned lot until it reaches a point where we have to repurpose it, acquire it, whatever we have to do.
Two observations. Two observations that I've long since made and come to. Perhaps this is where I can openly discuss it with you guys, right? I look at a certain area of Fabers Road, and if we're talking about derelict vehicles and the removal of derelict vehicles, Man, there's an entire stretch on Fabers Road where I don't know what kind of world I live in.
What would you do with it all,
right?
would be my question.
So that's my first thing, right? So I'm certain that there's some kind of policy or something on the books that says we need to be able to address this kind of a situation. Yeah. I don't know what the pushback would be, but I've seen successive municipal administrations come and go, and still Fabers Road remains the same. Then I look at my community. There's a stretch of land that's overgrown. Right? I don't know if or who the owners are and if there's any tax being paid on the property or whatever. I know from I was a child that thing has been overgrown, well over 30 some odd years. Still to this day it's overgrown. And not only does it create a hazard for persons who are traversing that area, right? But I'm almost certain that if we had certain policies or we were enforcing certain policies that comes to land use and what have you, that something should have been done about that by now. I look at, for instance, an example. I visited Taiwan several years ago, and they are strict on certain things. If you acquire a piece of land, you are given a certain time span within which to develop it. And so you fall short of that, that can be taken away from you by the state and repurposed, right? You can't sit down and speculate on a thing for 13 years figuring that, oh, my 10-year plan or so is that down the road the value goes up and I'll get more for it. But until then, it's the responsibility of the state or the municipality to clean it up or to... I have an issue with that.
The laws obviously are antiquated that we have on our books, because when we're dealing with abandoned lots, it takes... it has to be where the property owner is not paying the property tax. That is the only way we can act, where we take it to the court and have it auctioned off. That takes a long while. That takes a very long process, roughly sometimes between 5 years. So we need reform in respect to some of the laws that we have on our books. And I hear you speak on the Fabers Road matter. It's not like we haven't been removing derelict vehicles, but derelict vehicles is like a nightmare.
It's a continuous. So you move there.
We move. As we move, so another one created. So our traffic committee has been looking at Fabers Road. We have a traffic committee that looks at how we could remedy that situation, because clearly Fabers Road has become one of the main thoroughfares for the big container trucks coming into the city and accessing the port. And that area is becoming very dangerous for pedestrians. And we are looking on it from that point of view, and I believe they had given us recommendations in respect to what we will do with Fabers Road. It either becomes a no parking, because we have identified parking along the entire stretch that can be utilized off-road, and it becomes a no parking zone, and we have the enforcement team up and down on that street, and that
it's a two-lane street, right? Because sometimes I have to wonder.
It's a
I don't live. I have to ask, because with the double parking and everything, sometimes I'm just like, okay.
Yeah, but all of these things, these stuff are in the pipeline, and but we have to be solution-driven, and look at the needs of the residents. The residents have been complaining about Fabers Road. We can't sit here as a city council, Kaya, and do not meet the needs of the residents of that area.
Yeah, I think when we talk about Fabers Road, it raises the issue of these community mechanics who start up shop right at their residence. And this is one of the things on the campaign trail that our residents have been complaining about, because they take up the parking on the streets. They have oil on the streets. The place is left very nasty. So as a council, in these 3 years, in this term, that is one of the things that we want to nip in the bud and really deal with, because it really makes the quality of life for the residents in that area.
But is it do they have business license? Are they just working out of their homes, out of their home garages? Is that something that you're seeing as well?
It varies. Some of them do, some of them don't.
They have trade license.
They have trade
They have
So
trade
you
license.
can attack from the trade license end, or you can look at how you regulate the Fabers Road traffic.
I'm thinking it does not matter what trade license you have or don't have. When you leave a vehicle there for an inordinate period of time, it inconveniences me as a pedestrian, a cyclist, or a motorist, because it doesn't belong there for a fixed period, right?
Correct.
So I think that's how I look at those situations, right?
Yeah.
The thoroughfare should be clean and free of any obstruction, especially if you're looking at Fabers Road, you have all of that 18-wheelers.
Yeah.
And they have to be navigating vehicles that are there from God knows how long. It defeats the purpose, and it becomes a traffic safety or a road safety issue.
As we are coming down to the wire of our conversation, I just have one question, right? And as the newly elected council, sell Belize City to me. I don't live here. Mayor has been trying to sell Belize City to me for the past 3 years, can't do it yet. Tell me, as a non-citizen or as a tourist, why should I come to visit Belize City? What is there to do here?
Or relocate.
Or, well, not relocate. Why Belize City? What is there to do here? Why should I come here?
I haven't convinced you, so I'll have them go first. I'll have Kwan and Elud, but there's so much happening in Belize City. You can't find a better coastal town than city than Belize City, man. Where you live in Belmopan?
Look at that.
This is Belize City is the commercial capital of the country. Clearly, it's the hub of the financial country. It is where entertainment is. You can never say. It is a place that have restaurants all across. You can have the high-end restaurants, you can have the middle-income restaurants, you have the low-income, and which are some of the best foods all across this entire country. Belize City has a rich mix, right, of culture, people, wide mix of the Hispanics and the Garifunas and the Creoles, the music here in the city, the nightlife here in the city. I don't see any other city I would rather live. Yeah, Belmopan City.
You know what? Can somebody else take this away from him, please?
Yeah, I think you should want to move to Belize City, just given the fact that we are the most progressive municipality in the country. I think we could all agree on that, right? There is so much happening in Belize City today, and there is even more to come, right? And so I promise you, it'll be the best decision you've ever made.
Kaya, yes.
I think both Mayor and Elud really said it. Well, this is the most progressive city in the entire country, I believe. Coming into Belize City, I mean, you really feel like you're coming to somewhere international, coming from our district. You know, you get into the city, and we have, you know, the streets. Most of the streets are better here for us to drive on. Or most of our residents have a quality of life because the municipality is working for them. So, yeah.
Well, I think that Belize City is will always remain the commercial hub of the country. All the banking, the financial institutions, the commercials, the port, different things are happening in the Belize City. And the most of we have a very, very friendly municipal government, right? That we will assist entrepreneurs, to promote, protect our citizens. So I think you should move to Belize City.
We'll try again next time. No, but I do want to say thank you all so much for coming on this morning. Congratulations once again to all of you. And we wait for the motorcade, right, Isani?
Yes. We're waiting for the final number.
Yes. Well, Isani will have those numbers for us in our newscast tonight.
Hopefully they're done tallying by then.
But we're going to take another quick break, and when we come back, we'll have the Kidney Association next. So don't go away.
Vanessa Humes. We only reveal cool spot. Belize Bank save us a lot of time. Working with them, we can keep track exactly what we spend. We recommend Belize Bank 100% because we don't have to go to stand up in line, and we can check on our account right from our house. Working with Belize Bank is the best.
Here you go, babe.
Thanks, babe. How did it go? Good?
It was good.
Gal, I think it'll get hard out there.
I think I should go close the window.
Don't let this happen to you. At Design Depot, we have Oran windows, exactly what you need to weather any storm and keep you safe. With Oran, you get strength, durability, and security. Oran features a strong double latch that closes securely, all at an affordable price only at Design Depot. With Oran, you'll always be safe.
Explore the great outdoors with Benny's quality and savings.
I'm connected. Yo.
I'm connected.
We're connected.
Create the perfect broadband bundle that fits your style with Smart Connect. With the Junior Bundle, get 50% off your national calls and up to 6 gigabytes of data at no extra cost. Get postpaid added for an additional cost of only $25 with the Prime Bundle. Stay connected with unlimited smart-to-smart calls plus 6,300 megabytes of data and free international minutes. For the family, pay $28.13 more and get the Binge Watchers bundle with Netflix. This bundle gives you 4 profiles with unlimited streaming on multiple devices. Visit a showroom near you to sign up and personalize your own bundle combination with Smart Connect. Smart, bringing people together.
Do you have information about a crime or a fugitive in our community? You can submit a tip anonymously with your smartphone. Using this program in safeguarding our community also protects your identity, keeping you out of the court system, and could earn you a cash reward. Here is how it works. Download the free P3 Tips app from the Apple Store or Android Market. P3 is the provider of our secure anonymous tip collecting software. Open the app and create a PIN, but be sure to remember that number, then select your location. Next, select the type of crime. When submitting a tip, be as specific as possible. If you have a picture, video, or audio that will help officers, you can upload them from your phone. Information leading to an arrest can earn you a cash reward of up to $1,000. Once your tip is submitted, you'll be given a tip ID and password. Check back if your tip leads to an arrest. You'll be told how much you were rewarded and how to anonymously collect your cash.
I show my love for Belize.
I show my love for Belize.
I show my love for Belize.
I show love for Belize.
I show my love for Belize.
I show my love for Belize.
I show my love for Belize by putting trash in its proper place.
By making sure people enjoy it sustainably.
By wearing my patriotic colors.
By flying our flag.
I show my love for my country by staying up to date on current events.
By being a responsible consumer, buying local, and when I can't use a reusable shopping bag.
By celebrating its heroes.
I show love for my country by speaking about issues that I care about.
By volunteering and helping others, not only myself.
I show my love of country by showcasing culture and traditions to people all over the world.
By obeying laws and advocating for better ones.
I show love for my country by voting.
How do you show your love for Belize? Be an active citizen. Vote.
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 And welcome back. Joining us to give us some updates for the Kidney Association next month, we are joined by Elia Cho, the president of the Kidney Association of Belize. Here to my right, good morning.
Good morning.
And then to her right, we have a member and active volunteer, and no stranger to the show, Mr. Diego Samos. Good morning, Mr. Diego. And then to his right, we have Secretary of the Kidney Association, Shayare Morataya. Good morning. I got it.
Yes. Good morning.
All right. So we do know that next month would be kidney.
Actually, it's
this month?
Yeah,
Okay.
March.
So March. March is kidney awareness month.
It's a designated
month for kidney. March is a month for a lot of activities.
Yes.
So let's start with what the Kidney Association of Belize is doing for this month.
Okay, every year we normally have several activities, but then this year the Holy Week falls into March, and then with all the activities that are
Women's Month, Child Stimulation
Month, Child Stimulation, and not forget the big one that really grasps the attention is the La Ruta Maya. So it kind of like hard. Yes, this is weekend. So we tend to we will do one of the activity in March and then the other one in April. So it is known that World Kidney Day is celebrated on March 14, and this year they are celebrating World Kidney Day, and the theme for this year is Kidney Health for All, Advancing Equitable Access to Care and Optimal Medication Practice. And this theme, it emphasizes the importance of ensuring that everyone, regardless of your color, your religion, your background, your ethnicity, your cultural values, your location, your age, regardless of that, that you have the right to health access and medication as well, so you can adopt a healthy kidney, so that you put things in place, so you can ensure that you put steps and measures that you don't end at the end stage of renal failure. It's very crucial. A lot of persons are not aware of how important your kidney is, and that is why we emphasize the awareness crucially, because we don't want persons to be hooked up at a machine and then realizing I could have put certain measures in place. So that is why we strengthen the awareness. And because of that, we do two major activities. Well, three. One is for the annual health fair, two, the kidney walk, and during the kidney walk, we do the sale of t-shirts. That is a way of how we solicit funds that we help persons who are doing the hemodialysis. You all are aware that the hemodialysis is an expensive treatment.
Yes, it is.
You need to at least do the doctor recommends 3. And most persons can only afford 2 sessions, and each session costs $200. It's hard for an average Belizean to find $200 per session. And you will have to and if you need the 3 sessions, you need $600. How many of our Belizean people actually earn $600 a week? not many, right?
And even if they do, it wouldn't necessarily be for that particular purpose.
Exactly.
Because you still have your other
the bills,
living expenses.
Yes, and that is why when we, as the association, we ask you to, the Visit Association to get information, partner with us so we can reach out
and assist in
any way. And what we do is that we do community screening, we do community awareness by trying to visit working facilities, businesses. We try to lobby with the HR representative, that they have a key role in looking after the human resource personnel. So it's a vast amount of things that we have to do, but it is very crucial, like I mentioned. And for this year, our health fair will be held on March 15, which is next week Friday.
Okay.
And we will be having our health fair at the Lions parking lot right next to KHMH. And we will be partnering with several other health NGOs, such as the Belize Cancer Society, Belize Diabetes Association, HECOPAB, NDAP. We have Chest Clinic, we have RFNG Life Insurance. So these are key important stakeholders that partner with us because they see the need of awareness. They see that they, not just kidney, but there are several other chronic diseases that are affecting our population. And when we look at kidney, I was reading a recent publication that there are more than 850 million people globally that are affected with chronic kidney disease. And it doesn't only target a particular range group. It starts from a very young age. So we have to ensure that we try to do our part by partnering with different NGOs, by partnering with Ministry of Health, so that we carry out these activities so that it ensures persons that they are information, get the assistance. And more importantly, we had a discussion with Social Security Board, and they informed us that the NHI program has been rolling out to major part of this country. So eventually, I believe everyone in Belize will be covered by NHI, and the NHI do provide for persons who have any symptoms of any disease to visit any health facility and ask to do some lab work, and it's free of cost. And particularly for the kidney test.
I want to get Mr. Samos and Shayari in the conversation. Mr. Samos, you are no stranger to the show, but let's talk about your involvement in the Kidney Association as an active volunteer member.
Hi, good morning, and thank you for having me once again on the show. Well, as a volunteer, I try to advocate, as much as I can, so others are informed of the purpose of the Kidney Association and its work that it's doing. Personally, the Kidney Association has been very helpful to my daughter, and my entire family. So I'm very glad to them, and also for being a part of the association as a volunteer. Well, like I said, my major part is to spread awareness. I'm a living example. I have a daughter, 15-year-old daughter, Vicky Samos, that has end-stage kidney disease, stage 5. Sadly, she has to undergo dialysis 3 times a week. Hemodialysis, because there's another one that's called peritoneal dialysis. Sadly, it's not offered here in Belize. It has not, the hospital or the government has not introduced it to Belize as yet, which is another option. Yes, but I believe that the Kidney Association is doing a wonderful job in spreading the awareness to others. So, because I see that we as Belizeans, we do not live a healthy lifestyle. On our diet, we do not exercise, which is very, very important. Exercising, having a healthy diet, and also doctor checkups. especially if you have kids. If your kids have a little symptom or something, you should always go and visit the doctor. Yes. And do not take those symptoms very lightly.
Yeah, I agree.
Yes, we should always have a doctor checkup at least annually. And sometimes we have to pay a little more, to see very competent doctors. And but I think we should invest in our children and ourselves also.
I have a question for you guys. In terms of any initiative that has been undertaken to lobby government to make things a bit more affordable, because if we're looking at $200 per session, and in your case, Diego, your daughter has to undergo 3 of these sessions weekly.
Yes.
That's $600 a week. And if I'm listening to what you were saying earlier, and I can attest to, many of us aren't making $600 a week, let alone $600 just for treatment, right? So what activity has been taken to say, well, government, we are lobbying you so that you can make this thing either more affordable or at least meet us halfway. Find some kind of middle ground with all of this.
Currently, there are about 141 persons doing the hemodialysis, and from that, there is about 92 persons who are on the government program, and the government program assists with 2 sessions per week. So, these 91 persons, you can say, at least that a major part of the burden is not a concern to them, because the 2 sessions are free. However, they still need to find that extra $200, and still they have challenges in doing so. So they would reach out to the association and ask for assistance.
Okay.
So yes, we have met with the ministry, with the Minister of Health, and we have addressed some key points, and he said he is going to look at it. However, remember, it is costly as well. So before we try to, not to say that we don't want to help them, but to delay the regression of kidney failure, we have to put measures. We have to
preventative measures before
yes,
you
the
get
preventative measures, and that is where the awareness, the screening comes into play. So we are very adamant of tapping into schools, tapping into workplace, and lobby with the HR personnel that they play a role as well, because how can a business function if your employees are not doing well? You have to look at the well-being of your employees, they look at the well-being of your students. So, there are measures that we are lobbying for, and like I said, I am hoping that this year be better, because we pull out of a tough time. So we had setbacks there, but like the efforts are there, and we're trying to work and collaborate with our stakeholders and with the Ministry of Health, and they are very receptive. So I I can see progress.
As we slowly begin to wrap up this conversation, I want to hear from you, Shayari, about the activities for April, because I know we were talking about the walk in March, but what can we expect? The fair in March and the walk in April.
Yes, so our fair will be held
next week
Friday. Yes. So World Kidney Day is Thursday of next week. So we encourage the public and all the businesses to wear green in honor of persons with kidney disease. And also, yes, our walk is April 13th, if I'm not mistaken. So we start at BTL Park, and then we go on to Barrett Road, Marine Parade Boulevard, 4th Street, and then back. And we meet back at BTL Park. Yes, we'll be waiting to give out, some refreshments. So we encourage the public and everyone to come on out and support us. And like Ms. Elia said, we also have t-shirts on sale. We have them in various different colors, the sizes. We have 35 for sizes small, 34 sizes small to XL, and then the bigger sizes are 35. And our contact numbers for those who want to reach out to get t-shirts or who want to participate in the fair or in the walk, we have Miss Elia Cho. Her contact number is 614-7727, and then we have our office phone number, which is 615-6861 or 222-5618.
And these are going to be countrywide, right? This is just something in Belize City?
Just something in Belize for
Okay.
right now. Yes, we're hoping that down the road we can tap into each district and have a walk.
All right, so World Kidney Day is next week, March 14th, and you want to check out that fair by the Lions parking lot here in Belize City.
And all the tests that we're doing are free.
Yes, I was looking at the blood test and the blood pressure test and the rapid HIV test, all things that I think you should do when you go to a checkup, to do a regular doctor checkup, right? So I want to say thank you guys so much for coming in. Best of luck, and of course, you know, we'll do the t-shirt. We're green, right?
Yes.
We're green on March 14th. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be back with the Belize City Defenders. Stay with us.
Hey there, smart thinkers! We're turbocharging your mobile experience with Smart's powered up postpaid plans. Imagine a world where your data speeds flows faster than ever. Well, guess what? We've cranked up the dial and unleashed the postpaid power of Smart's lightning fast LTE data on all our postpaid plans. That's right, no speed bumps, more data. It's like having a limitless highway of data speed at your fingertips. Whether you're a Lone Ranger with an individual plan or a squad rolling with a group plan, everyone gets to surf, stream, and share at enhanced full high-quality speed. Switch to Smart's powered up postpaid plans today and ride the wave of postpaid power. Visit any Smart showroom or smart-bz.com for details and make your mobile experience smarter and faster. Smart, bringing people together.
I know I can't let this plan. I can't let this plan.
Weapons and ammunition must never ever be together.
Before I take that drink, I need to put the firearm away.
So the doctor has given me 5 days off. How do I get paid from Social Security? This is how Social Security works for sickness benefits. First, you must check that you qualify. You must be employed when you got sick. Have made 50 paid contributions. Have made 5 paid contributions within 13 weeks immediately before getting sick. To ensure that your processing goes smoothly, be sure to complete and submit your claim form within 14 days of the first day of illness. Thanks, I get it now.
Visit our website or contact any of our offices to have someone assist you. Also, be sure to visit our Facebook page and give us a like to stay informed. Social Security Board, safeguarding you, your family, your future.
Do you have information about a crime or a fugitive in our community? You can submit a tip anonymously with your smartphone. Using this program in safeguarding our community also protects your identity, keeping you out of the court system, and could earn you a cash reward. Here is how it works. Download the free P3 Tips app from the Apple Store or Android Market. P3 is the provider of our secure anonymous tip collecting software. Open the app and create a PIN, but be sure to remember that number, then select your location. Next, select the type of crime. When submitting a tip, be as specific as possible. If you have a picture, video, or audio that will help officers, you can upload them from your phone. Information leading to an arrest can earn you a cash reward of up to $1,000. Once your tip is submitted, you'll be given a tip ID and password. Check back if your tip leads to an arrest. You'll be told how much you were rewarded and how to anonymously collect your cash.
And we are back. Joining us for the final conversation, we have the Belize City Defenders here to talk shop for the game tomorrow. Joining us in studio, we have Jacob Leslie, Nigel Jones, and Devon Campbell. Good morning, guys.
Morning, guys.
Tell me why I should go to this game tomorrow. What are the hype?
Well, tomorrow you have the two remaining undefeated teams in the league, Belize City Defenders, who are 4-0, and the Belize City Hurricanes, who are 4-0. So it's basically the clash of the Titans. There's always a rivalry with the Belize Hurricanes and the Belize City Defenders because we share the same venue, we share the same city, we share the same fan base. We're fighting for the same fan base, right? So it's always an exciting show. It's always intense regardless of the standings. And it just so happens that this year we're both at the top of the standings, so it makes it even more intense. And like I said, it's going to be entertaining. It's a game that nobody wants to lose. And so we encourage everybody to come out because it's the game of the regular season. It's a game that, I mean, we had Orange Walk scheduled to play tonight, and they postponed their games because their players wanted to come and see the game. So that's how big the game is, and that's how much anticipation people have for this game that is happening tomorrow.
I think what I'm most excited about is that it's at the start of a long weekend, right? So that whoever wins tomorrow night, whatever partying happens afterwards, everybody have enough time to get up, get ready, go to Ruta Maya or whatever else they want to do over the course of the weekend. I want to know what has been the preparation and the anticipation for this face-off between you guys and the Hurricanes tomorrow.
From the beginning of the season, we knew that we kind of knew that both teams was going to be undefeated before we played them. So it's kind of like every game we build it up for them. And I'm pretty sure they did the same thing. So like I said, like we see them every day in practice, in and out. Yeah. So it's kind of like, oh, week five. So that's the kind of the preparation. And I know there's a lot of excitement. This is my first time playing for the Defenders, but I know it's a lot of excitement between the two teams.
What has been the experience like for you?
It's been good. It's a different experience from when I played. I played in Dangriga, so it's kind of different fan base. It's more like it's bigger. Everything's bigger. You know what I'm saying? So it's been a good experience for me.
What's the pressure like, Nigel, coming from the results of last year and now this year where you have to face off the Hurricanes?
I mean, well, you know, we went 1-1 with Hurricanes last year. Luckily for everybody else in the league, we didn't get a chance to qualify for playoffs last year, so we kind of took that a little, I guess you could say, personal. As soon as we lost, we went right back to the drawing board trying to figure out ways that we knew we could come into the 2024 season willing to compete and actually want to make a statement. So like Devon said earlier, we knew from coming in at the beginning of the season exactly what we wanted to do and how we wanted to do it. So we always knew from the jump. We planned on being undefeated by the time that we met them. And I think for us, not so much pressure. We're just trying to not get so caught up in emotions and everything, because it's a lot of them going around. But just try your best not to get caught up in it, and just remember you got to stay grounded and still handle your business at the end of the day. So, yeah.
What has been the fanfare for the Defenders in terms of you guys going out there? It doesn't matter if it's in Belize City or Belmopan or Dangriga, wherever you guys go to play your opponents. What has been the fanfare for the Defenders?
Well, this year, well, not just this year. I feel like every year, you know, regardless of how we're doing in the standings and things like that, our fans, they travel. Everywhere we go, we have fans that travel everywhere we go. But for this year, I will say, you know, we're undefeated. We're 4-0. More fans, you know, more people are going to be willing to come out and support, and we appreciate that. That's why we're trying to make sure that we keep giving out great product, something fun for the kids to come watch, entertaining for the parents and everybody to come watch and just pay attention to. So for us, you know, we appreciate it, and we just want to keep moving forward with the support and everything.
Jacob, when you look at the professional and athletic development of these guys, either season by season or year on year, what are you looking for?
Well, for me, it's always to see improvement, right? And so I have a task of trying to get these guys to get better in the off season, but also trying to recruit new players that are on the horizon or might need a breaker. I mean, there are many times that you have these young players who have these natural abilities, and it's to find them and invest time in them to develop them, to get them to where you need them to be so that they can compete. It's always good to have players who have self-discipline, right? So you don't have to be babying them. What are you doing? Checking up on them, and that's what I found to have with the core of our team. They go and they do their grind on themselves. Like I know Devon and them will call me every day. Yo, is the gym open?
Yeah.
You know, and they're not asking you anything. They just want to know the gym is open.
Yeah.
You know, and that's where you know that your team is invested, your team is committed, and they are committed to the same things that you are trying to put in front of them, right? And I think it's been a great season for us. We've had guys who had great discipline, great commitment. And I think that is why we have seen the results on the court. I think sometimes you struggle with that. Sometimes they're forcing people to come to work out, begging them to put in the extra work. They do what they have to do, but nothing more. This year we see the guys really buying in, and that makes our job much easier.
When it comes to training new and fresh faces, I know we have our guys that come in. I know Nigel said he'll move here eventually, but when it comes to getting that kind of attitude, that kind of behavior from our people, from our Belizeans, how do you find that to be?
It's difficult, I think, and it's difficult and in no fault of their own. I think we don't have the development and training programs in place in the country that we used to have in the past. So like when myself and my brother was coming up, we were playing U14, U18, U21, junior, senior, before we reached semi-pro. So by the time we reached at that level, we were disciplined by so many coaches and so many mentors that we were pros by the time we reached. Now what you're doing is you're taking kids and trying to turn them to a pro in a month or two. And it's difficult because some of the fundamentals of the game they don't know. And they get frustrated because all the times they've been playing, they've been dominant. They feel like they are good, they feel like they are stars, and then you're telling them you're not ready. You know, so that contrast is where it's difficult for us as management or as anybody invested in basketball to encourage them and to say, look, we're not being tough on you, we're not criticizing you, we're trying to help you because we see something. But when you have kids who at 18, 19, 20 years old have always starred at where they are playing because they're playing in mediocre leagues, it's difficult when you're taking them somewhere and saying, no, that's not going to work here. You need to fix this, this, and this. Then they feel like you're hating on them. You know, and that's where the attitude is important. So we need to find,
bring back those
and we need to find the kids who are saying, no, I want to learn. Respect that these guys are taking time to invest in me and are willing to accept. The ones who are rebutting against that and fighting against that and criticize and say you're hating, those are the ones you kind of, unfortunately, have to say, all right, you're too far gone. Let's move on to the ones who are willing.
But the truth is, with a sport like basketball, you have the informal games, and then you have the formal games, right? So in other words, you have street ball, and then you have a system that actually teaches you fundamentals on how to play an officiated game. So you find that a lot of times you have raw talent. Those are the ones that are
run fast, jump high,
do everything, right? But when you actually begin to coach them in a structured environment, they have disciplinary issues, they have issues understanding how fundamentals come together to form a big picture and that sort of stuff. And I think when you look at the landscape in Belize, that's a huge part of the problem with any sporting discipline. So you have people who are naturally great at football, basketball, or softball. But when you start coaching them and showing them that discipline is what's going to take them to the end result, everybody start buck against the system.
And I think that's why these games are important, right? Because if you can show that there's a level above, you see, when the competition level at this stage is low, then everybody feel like they can play. Well, I don't have to go above and beyond. I already can compete there. But when you raise the level of the elite league, then everybody understands, well, if I want to play there, I have to put in the work. And that's what we knew from a young age. Like if we wanted to play semi-pro, we couldn't take days off. Heard your homework, you have to go on the court. Because we need to get better, because we need to get there. At this point, we have found in the years, some guys at 18, 19 feel like I'm ready now. Like because the level is not that high, I can go and compete now.
But that way I watch on TV too, right? They see all of these guys that compete in these college basketball games and they feel like I'm at that.
Okay, so let's be real with each other here, right? It's not very often that you have a one-off like a LeBron James that goes from high school to the league.
But those
are the exclusions, so to speak, right?
Exceptions.
Exceptions, thanks. Those are the exceptions to the rule, right? And you can't stop that from happening. Once in a while, you have a talent that
Generational talent,
man. So you have to accept it as such. but everybody else has to go through the process and through the system, because that's how you get to it, right? I'm always looking at young Belizean talents, right? And I may not be as invested in sports now as I once was, but I think for the most part it remains the same. You could see somebody on a court or on a field and you could be like, wow, that person naturally has it, right? But when you begin to look at where they come from and what are some of the factors that are at play outside of their ability to play, then you start to realize, okay, I could understand that this person will need more development in certain areas than just on the court or on the field. And I think that's something that you guys come across every so often as well.
Yeah, and I think that's, and you'll find it in your team, right? So even when we put together a collective of team of grown men, it's still a mentorship that you have to have. It's still letting them know that we care about you beyond the game. So when the season is over, you can still call my phone, and I will still answer and I will still respond. And that's how you, to me, you grow people, you invest in them, and then they become the same thing that you're trying to see them, and then they become mentors for these young people. And for having them here, they are, I mean, Nigel is, I mean, he goes around, and I told him, I mean, John has a thing that he always says, Nigel will be a good stepfather. Kids just love him and they are drawn to him, but it gives kids something to aspire to. And I think that's what this league has to be. It has to be something to aspire the kids, to keep them engaged in discipline of sport. Because basketball is a discipline, it's not just a game. And if you want to achieve certain things, you have to be disciplined through the process, which in itself distracts you from other elements, right? So that is what we're trying to do. As defenders, we're trying to create a product that shows professionalism, show a high level of skill, so that we can inspire the younger generation to say, look, if I stay committed, I can be rewarded by playing on the biggest stage and being compensated for it as well.
So, all right. Yeah, because we got talk here all day with this.
No. So through the motivational talk, right? All of this is fine and dandy and everything. I want to hear the trash talk, because that's what's going to build the momentum.
Because the team is we don't like them and they don't like we. That way we
So I need to hear the good trash talk so that people out there who are watching will be motivated to go towards tomorrow's game.
You know, for us, last season was very controversial. Right? It was a very controversial season, and there were a lot of things that we were not happy about how it went about. And so this year we came into it and we kind of got back to our roots. We were saying, let's give people a good, entertaining, family-filled environment. And so for me, at least for me and our side, we're not the bossy side, we're not the trash-talking side. We're the side who says, come out and come watch a good basketball game. We'll have good entertainment throughout the process. So we'll have good giveaways. We have Chester the Cheetah who will be there giving away things to the kids. We have halftime giveaways for resort stays for the adults. We have the 1, 2, 3 Cooking Isle competition where we're giving away $4,000 cash. Last home game, a young man won the $3,000 half-court shot. And we're not like the other teams who just let you take one attempt. You have a time period and you get a much attempt to make the shot. And so we want to give away the money. And so our push and our sale to people is,
you know, trash talk, but you kind of have passive aggressive, just to leave it.
We have some little snippets in there. But what we want to do is to understand that we want to build something for Belize. We want to build a product where you can come and bring your whole family and feel safe and watch a good game that's entertaining, and at the same time have some good prize that you can win and leave with something more than just a game, but you can leave with something in your pockets or in your hands.
All right. So, Sel, where can I get my tickets? What time the arena open?
Ticket goes on sale tomorrow, 10 o'clock. Like we have been saying, it's one of the most anticipated games of the year. So you expect a full? We expect between around 4,000 people to be in the venue tomorrow. We have had issues with courtside seats being sold out from yesterday, and it has never happened before. So what we're saying is, when the tickets go on sale, if you want those VIP seatings that are the limited ones that are available, you gotta get to the ticket booth at 10 o'clock tomorrow. Shirts will be on sale for both teams. So the Hurricane shirts will be on sale, the Defender shirts will be on sale. Tickets will be on sale starting at 10. We have $10 for general admission, $25 for VIP, and $50 for courtside. Kids under 12 years old enter for $5. Student with IDs enter for $5. So we want to bring out the family, bring out the environment, bring out the kids. For us, it's bringing out the kids and let them see something that they can aspire to see, what basketball can do for your lives. It can create great opportunities for you, and that's what we're trying to.
What you say, Nigel? We have to come out?
Have to.
We have
Early.
to. Early.
Early.
All right, guys. Head on over to the Civic Center tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Actually, no, 8:30 p.m.
Gates open at 7:30.
Gate open at, okay, 7:30. And watch this anticipated game between the Belize City Defenders and the Belize Benny's Hurricanes. Thank you guys so much for coming in.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
And I want to say a big thank you to all of our guests for coming in this morning. And of course, thank you to our viewers for tuning in every morning to start your morning right here with us. If you have any questions or comments or just a birthday shout out, you can drop us a line right here at oye@channel5belize.com. You can also catch our Facebook live stream on Open Your Eyes BZ and our highlights on Instagram at OYE Belize. Do us the favor and join us again tomorrow when you open your eyes.
To start your morning.
Be sure to keep your eyes, your minds, and your hearts open.
I have one quick thing.
Why?
No, it's very important that I do this, right? I want to publicly acknowledge our reporting team in terms of the coverage of the municipal elections yesterday, right? I want to be able to say a heartfelt thank you to everyone who has participated in the coverage of our elections, all the way from Punta Gorda, Stefan, and Macaz. In Dangriga, we had Gwen, we had George. In the Cayo side, we had Jorge and Jose. Paul and Daryl in Belmopan, to Brittany, to everyone here in Belize City as well. Well, Belize City, we had a lot of people. Won't go into many names there. All right. To Dalila and her cameraman in Orange Walk, and of course in San Pedro we had Marian and Maria, and Dwayne Moody and his cameraman all the way in Corozal as well. Guys, sincerely, thanks. We couldn't have done it without you guys. It means a lot to us. Thanks again.
Keep your eyes, your minds, and your hearts open. Thank you all so much for tuning in. And of course, thank you to all of our colleagues here on Channel 5. We'll see you again tomorrow, Belize. Bye.